Napoli fans around the world, welcome to Napoli Talk, guys. Man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, honestly. I didn't expect this today. Honestly, I did not expect this and don't even know why I'm here. Honestly, man, because I'm done, man. I woke up at 4:45 to watch Ferrari finish 8th and 10th. I was like, okay, but Napoli's gonna make my day. And then I saw Zerbin be one of the man of the match. Do you understand what I just said? That Zerbin was one of the man of the match against Napoli. Man, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Let's see what you guys have to say because I have no words. I have no words to be outclassed by Zerbin. Man. Gustavo Braz says tough draw. By the way, that last corner was so bad. Atalanta talks today. Yeah. Politano. I mean, what the hell, man? What was he doing? What was Politano what was Politano doing in the last 15 minutes? Um this is kind of the problem with Politano. He got called up for the Italian national team, and all of a sudden he thinks he's Jesus on earth and thinks that he can resolve games all by himself. And took that shot in the last 10 minutes, which probably it's in the Venice canals by now. Then the corner. I mean, man, it's the 90th minute. You get your defenders to come up. Juan Jesus is up. Buongiorno is up. McTominay is up. And you put in a ball like that. There is no excuse, in my opinion, to have a bad corner. It is literally the most unpressurized situation in the entire sport. There is literally nobody putting pressure on you. You have all the time in the world to pick your spot. It is something that literally 10-year-olds can do. To raise the ball, just raise it like put a pillow, man. Put a pillow and just try to get it over the pillow. Yeah, just practice at home, okay? And you would do a better job than what Politano did. Like, how do you hit a ball that badly that it doesn't even go above knee height, man? How? How do you do that? You're fighting for a scudetto, man, and the quality is just so poor. So poor, man. It's annoying. It's annoying because this team had an opportunity, somehow this team had an opportunity. Somehow, even though we've tied, what is it, 5 of the last 7 games or something like this, we have, we could still end tonight being on first. But this team just doesn't, it just doesn't have it, I don't think. I think today is the proof that this team just doesn't have it because while I don't see problems when we face teams like Inter or Milan, I think we will have good games there. I just don't trust them against the likes of Como, against the likes of Venezia. These teams that are down at the bottom, that are putting in shifts to save their careers because they don't want to go down to Serie B. I just don't see that same desire. I just cannot. mm, there's just something missing. And I don't understand Conte. Guys, I really don't understand Conte because how is it that Venezia has more desire than you? How is it that Como has more desire than you? How is it that every time we leave the dressing room in between the first and second half, we are a worse team? What are you telling these guys, man? What are you telling them? Why don't you just. This has been going on for 3 months now, that every second half is just consistently worse. You have to. If Conte is repeating the same message in the first, in between the first and second half, he has to start changing it up, and he has to start not just with his words but with signals. How about you make a substitute in between the first and second half? How about you make a 45-minute substitute and you tell these players to wake up? Because we cannot continue to enter the second half like that. We cannot. We will start losing games. It's actually a miracle, I think, that Venezia didn't get a goal in that second half, because there were a few chances there with Zerbin. Man, when he put in that cross and they were this close to getting at the end of it. And guys, don't come here with the 12:30 kickoff, man. Like, this is such BS. It's 12:30 for Venezia as well. 12:30 is a perfectly fine time to play football. Perfectly fine. I don't think that had this game been 3 hours later, it would have been any different. And by the way, look, we're so stupid, guys. We're literally the stupidest team. You know why? Because okay, it's 12:30. Fine, let's deal with it. But what does Di Lorenzo do? He's the one that's choosing which side to play in the first half when the sun is literally at the highest point, and he chooses to put himself and Meret right in the position where the sun is in their face instead of the other way around. Like, we were playing with our defenders with the sun in our face for the first 45 minutes. Then in the second half, the sun went away and Venezia didn't have this problem. Like, bro, like, be smarter about it. Like, these little details make a difference. You know, and if the Venezia keeper had sun in his eyes, who knows? Maybe he wouldn't have pulled off some of those saves, right? But these are the kind of things that I just don't see an Inter, for example, making that kind of mistake. You know, Inter would be way more cynical about that kind of stuff. Then, I mean, Inter could lose tonight and we have three teams tied on first, fine. But I don't see how we're going to win the next nine when we have to face against teams that are fighting for for something, like the Venezias of this Serie A. I just don't see it, man. And Conte, man, you've got to make subs way earlier. What does it represent that you make four subs in the 77th minute? What are you trying to do? If something's not going the way it's supposed to be, that badly that you have to make four subs, surely this would have been the case in the 70th minute, in the 65th minute, in the 60th minute, in the 55th minute. You would have seen the signs and you maybe start making some gradual subs and you give some of these guys a bit more time to get into the game. It was clear that a lot of those players that came off were not going to be contributing much more. Raspadori fell off a cliff. So did Lukaku in the second half. Politano, I don't know how he played all of 90 minutes, but look, this is exactly the type of game where Politano should never start. Look, I defend Politano like crazy when you have to play against a team like Inter, when you have to play against the big teams. I would have Politano literally one of the first names on the team sheet because he's defensive minded and he can track back and he can really help out. But against Venezia, why are you playing with Politano when he doesn't offer you anything going forward and you don't need him to track back? What are you scared of against Venezia? That you need a winger that's basically uh, a a defender almost, or you use him as a defender, especially when you're playing with five at the back in defense, man. Like we have already five at the back in defense. Why do we need Politano as well? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Not when you play against Venezia. I can understand it against Inter. I can understand it against some of the other teams, but not against Venezia. When I think playing with maybe someone like Okafor, even though it's not his main position, or even Ngonje on the right today from the start, I think it could have given Napoli a little bit of something extra. And who knows? Also, why did Billing not come on the field? He had a very good game against Como, a very good game against Inter. He was impactful in the last few times that he featured, and instead Conte decides to bring on Anguissa in the last 15 minutes, who is returning from injury. There's rumors about his future. Apparently, he doesn't want to renew. So this guy, I don't want to judge him, but because he's done a lot, he's done a lot for Napoli, but he might not have that same desire to get stuck in as someone like Billing, who sees this as an opportunity to prove himself, to convince the club that he's the man for next year. Especially since he's also in form. And we were getting humiliated in that midfield in that second half. And I think you needed someone like Billing, and especially in the situation of corners and free kicks, this guy could be useful. You know, he's 2 meters tall. I just don't understand some of Conte's decisions, guys. Like, he's a great coach, and we're here thanks to him. But I can't shake the feeling that this team could have done a lot more since Christmas, if Conte had not been so stubborn. I think, we're not maximizing everything that we have, essentially. Let me get to some other comments, guys. Paul says Napoli lack the ability to go up the gears. For all the dominance, not enough chances were created. Days like this, I miss Kvara. Yeah, I mean, I think Kvara could have helped. Neres could have helped. I think for sure those type of players, the ones that can beat a man, could help. Like if you think that the most impactful player that we had today was maybe Spinazzola on the left, he was the one that was, getting past people, dribbling a little bit. These are the type of games that you need those kind of players with a bit more quality. Yeah, Kvara is missed, so is Neres. And yeah, there was no one that could really go up the gears, but also, maybe if you just had put someone off from the bench, if you had put someone on from the bench in the 55th, even 45th minute, it could have maybe given a different signal to Napoli. Some of you guys didn't sleep much, waking up at 4:30 and all that. Same. I woke up 4:30 today to watch the F1, guys, and it was disappointing to say the least. Thought I would be able to get my day going a little bit more with Napoli, but absolutely not. And man, I tell you, if Inter win tonight, that this will go down as one of the worst Sundays that I've had in a while, man. In a while. Let's hope Atalanta wins, yeah. Foxdrop says as long as we finish top four, I'm happy. Yeah, look, I mean, had you told me 7 months ago that we would be here, I would have signed up, no? But realistically now, I think top four is pretty much guaranteed, you know? So we gotta go for something a bit more. Can't complain about first half. Ran up against Buffon, says Napa Nation TV. That's true. Look, in the first half, we did have we had a good keep. So there's two sides of this, right? We had, on the one hand, a very good keeper that made some very good stops, but it wasn't like the game against Fiorentina that we were having clear chances with beautiful link up play, and we were, playing this smooth football, finding Lukaku to Raspadori. We weren't doing that. Like the chances that we had was just a random cross in the box, or the one of Raspadori. It came after Politano literally tripped on the ball, and then Di Lorenzo whipped in a cross, and it got deflected by or cleared badly by another Venezia player, by a Venezia defender, and it fell to Raspadori and he hit the post. So all these chances that we were unlucky not to score from, they weren't clear, clean chances that we created. They were just us putting people forward, putting balls in the box, and hoping for the best. And sometimes it fell to our players, and if it did, we attempted a shot on target, right? But I didn't see I didn't see anything prepared from training. I didn't see anything creative, anything that you know whereas I did see it against Fiorentina. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like there's a difference between chances that are well created and chances that just occur, and I feel like today they were just occurring but they weren't well created. But Daniel Bowen says second half showed no hunger of team fighting for the Scudetto. Now we really need Inter to lose. Atalanta will drop a ton of points with schedule. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if this team lacks hunger. I think it's weird, right? Because I mean, we played well against Fiorentina and we played well against Inter, but I think we underestimate some of the smaller teams. We underestimate Como, we underestimate Venezia, and we can't be like that. And I think we need to tackle these games against these teams in a much more proactive manner. We need to go out there all guns blazing, full out attack. We need to really like squash these teams in their own half, and we don't. We treat them as equals. So we let them have the ball, we let them play, we let them do things. And yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit upset with Conte because I would have played differently. We also had Oliveira back today, so we could have easily gone back to a 4-3-3, which I think is a bit more of a forward-thinking, propositive type of formation. Propositive, is that a word? Propositivo in Italiano. But yeah, like more attacking type of play. But yeah, mm, we just weren't there. We just weren't there, guys. The biggest problem is always playing to the level of our opponent. Exactly. Exactly. This is what I'm saying, man. We play to the level of Venezia. Um, I missed the match, guys, says Tariq. That's good, man. That's good. You keep making good decisions, bro. You keep doing what you're doing in life because that was a very good decision. If Napoli could just beat the teams they're supposed to be, they'd be 5 or 6 points up. Yeah, yeah. And it's annoying because we started actually this new round of or the second round of the season in a really positive way, right? We got a win against Juventus, where at first we had tied with them. We got a win against Verona, whereas at first we tied with them. A win against Atalanta, whereas at first we tied with them. Like there were a lot of games that we had done better than in the first half of the season. But now, since February, since Cavada's left, since the transfer market ended, we are coming up against teams that we beat earlier in the season, and now we're losing points. And look, Venezia was never an easy team. It was the one that I went to watch over Christmas when I was in Naples. And we only got a very late goal with Raspadori, and we struggled all game. So I knew that this was not going to be easy. But man, I did not expect us to not even have a chance in the second half. Yeah, we had one with Simeone at the end, but I mean, it took us 50 minutes. It came on the 95th minute or whatever, that chance. Um, I didn't expect it to be that bad, right? I thought we would be a bit more imposing against Venezia, and I definitely didn't like suffering so much against Zerbin, man. I mean, it makes you think, right? It makes you think because look, he had a great game and he was better than Politano today. So when the guy that you let go plays better than the guy that stayed, and I'm not saying that we should have kept Zerbin and sold Politano, but I don't know, man. I mean, maybe Zerbin could have been an option for us at some point, right? Um, if we hadn't let him go, maybe we would have had someone on the right hand side that could have given Politano a break every once in a while. And look, Zerbin's not gonna make an impact, right? He's not gonna provide you goals and assists. But just to clear my eyes of Politano, because I just couldn't stand them today. I never hate on Politano much. You guys know that I'm not that type of guy. But today I just couldn't stand him. I don't know what, but it just really bothered me today, Politano. We made Zerbin look like Zidane today, says John Piccolo. Yeah, man. That's exactly what I'm saying. Thank you for the 199 donation, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let's go buy back Zerbin with that money, man. Because honestly, that's how much the guy's worth, man. He's not even worth that much, Zerbin. Let's get him back. Um, but man, it's like these type of players, that they get so hyped. This guy must have been waiting for this match for the last 3 months. Um, man, I just today it's just I'm not feeling it, guys. I'm not feeling the Scudetto after today. I'm just not. I have a feeling that Inter's gonna get points out of Atalanta and that's it. And we're gonna fall. We're gonna start to fall behind Inter. Honestly, I don't want to bring you guys down, but I just I just have that feeling. I just have that feeling that this is the sliding doors. This is the sliding doors of the season, where we could have really put on pressure on Inter, could have really forced them into a mistake, and now I just think that they enter this game against Atalanta with a huge weight off their shoulder, a huge weight off their shoulder, guys. And if they can get those 3 points, and they're gonna run away with it. And I don't see this team, you know, um, sticking in the slipstream of Inter. I think if Inter goes more than 3 points ahead, I just don't see us sticking up with them. I think this team is very easily um, influenced mentally. This team, I don't think we have the strength. I think we can kind of pull ourselves together for one time, 190 minutes, like, oh, we have to play against Inter. Let's pull off this one great weekend. But then I just don't see them doing it consistently for 2 or 3 months. Um, it's like when you told yourself, like, yeah, dude, let's do this all-nighter to study before the exam, but deep down you're not the guy that's gonna, consistently, be on the books. Like these things take effort, and I just don't think Napoli has that. If they lose sight of Inter. Um, but yeah, man, the nutmeg, man, on Buongiorno, dude. The nutmeg on Buongiorno, man. The nutmeg on Buongiorno. That was that was that was funny. To be honest, I saw the bright side there. because in the end they didn't score. And I was just looking at my screen. I was like, no way. No way, guys. There's a lot of you guys that are new to the channel that will have never seen my video on Zerbin after the Fiorentina Napoli game last year. But I made an edit last year, which was it went really hard, guys. It went really hard. But yeah, you guys should check it out. I don't know where you guys can find it, but probably if you type Napoli Talk Zerbin, you'll find it. But yeah, or maybe on my Instagram. You might be able to find it if you go through some of the reels. Dom, what's good? Thanks for turning up. Says thoughts. I think we looked decent in the first half. Could have scored 3 goals if Radu wasn't world class. Second half, it was all Conte's fault. With 75th minute questionable sub. Respect to Venezia. I have to say though, I agree with that last point. Respect to Venezia because they came out playing. They came out playing. They didn't sit back and park the bus. Like gone are the days of your Frosinones of 2018. I don't even know if they were in the Serie A in 2018, but around that period, those kind of bottom table teams that just sit back and park the bus. Like I haven't seen a game like that against the bottom sides in a long time actually. Like when we played against Como, they went out and they played football. They passed the ball around. They had their tiki taka, they had their ways about them. And Venezia today, they weren't scared to get into Napoli's half, to work the ball, to find Zerbin down the right flank and whip in some crosses and have their midfielders come in at the edge of the box. Like they actually played football. They played football, so like credit to them. They actually made it very difficult for us. Very difficult for us. Anthony Navarro, what's good, man? Says I think that Atalanta wins Serie A, which upsets me a lot because Napoli worked hard to become a great team over the past 15 seasons. Atalanta winning a European trophy, then a Scudetto is better. Yeah, but yes, if Atalanta managed to win a Scudetto, then you could argue that they've had a better upwards trajectory than Napoli, of course. I mean, because you combine the Scudetto with a European trophy. But um, Atalanta's no joke. And if they end up winning the Scudetto, it's something that they've planned very well. They have Gasperini, who has been there now for many seasons, whereas Napoli has been chopping and changing managers every 2 seasons. So they have a consistent style of play. They've got a youth system that actually works. They were able to make a lot of money out of their players that came out of the youth system and out of players that they managed to scout at a very young age. Think of the ones that they sold to United, no? Um, Hoylund and the other guy from that went to Man United. But I think combined, maybe United spend 100 million on these guys, or somewhere between 50 and 100. So they were able to grow talent. They have a new stadium, consistent manager. You might not like him, but it's a key part of, I think, building success. And slowly but surely, they've been chipping away at the Scudetto as well. They've been in the top five consistently, and yeah, I mean, fair play. They planned it out very well. I would hate a lot more to see, like, I don't know, Roma win because they've been horrible the last 10 years, and then if they have like one good season out of, like, randomly, then that would really annoy me because then it's very like unprogrammed, unstructured, and these guys just caught a lucky star, you know. But Atalanta, on the other hand, man, they've been every year, you know, adding a little brick, you know, to the house. Yeah, yeah. Listen, shouldn't be freaking out. If Atalanta win, we're all tied on points. Only difficult matches left: Bologna and Milan at home. Scudetto is still there. But I'm not worried about Milan and Bologna. That's the thing, man. I'm not worried about those games. We will turn up against Milan, trust me. We will, be like, it will be like the one against Inter where we will turn up. I'm confident that we will be there. We will turn up. It's the other games that worry me. Well, Milan, it depends. If Inter wins and they go 4 points ahead, I'm not sure how these players will return to Naples after the international break with what kind of enthusiasm. But let's say that Inter don't win, and so we stay within touching distance. I'm sure that against Milan, we will play a very good game. It's the other games that worry me. It's about, how will you play against Empoli? Will you play like you did against Como in Venezia? That's what worries me, guys. It's the small teams that we're not able to break down because these small teams, the only way you can break them down is with moments of technical brilliance because they're very well organized, okay? They're very physical, very well organized. The only way you can beat them is if you have someone in your team that's able to get past the man. It creates some space and then you can exploit it. And maybe that's where Neres is going to be useful when he comes back from the break. But man, this guy being out for so long, it's been a really big blow. Like it's no coincidence that we've been struggling the last month and a half, and it's the same period more or less since Neres is out. Um, and guys, by the way, um, you know, Inter and Atalanta, it's not it's not like they can't go and win their next games, right? They have difficult games, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we're being too. Even before this game, we were kind of assuming too easily that Inter wouldn't go on or Atalanta wouldn't go on and win 8 of the next 9 games. Like, but they perfectly could. They perfectly could. These are good teams that we're up against, guys. Very good teams. Um, Even if Atalanta beat Inter, I don't see Napoli winning the league. I think if Atalanta beat Inter, I think the favorites might just be Atalanta. Um, but if Inter manage not to lose, then it's Inter Scudetto, guys. But it's always been Inter Scudetto. That's the thing. Like they have the better team. They're the champions. Um, they have the depth in their squad. So yeah, it was never. I don't think we were ever favorites. That's the thing. I don't think we were ever favorites. Anyways, guys, let's go to the analysis of the game, which I need to pull up. So 1 second. Let me find the photos, guys. Forgot to do that before the game. There we go. Yep, they're there. Let me just maybe adjust the position slightly. It's a little off-centered. And there we go. Okay, good enough. It doesn't quite fit the borders, but good enough. So guys, this is the shot from Raspadori, that we were speaking about earlier. Um, which look, we were unlucky because look at how that ball hit the inside of the post and didn't go in. But at the same time, it goes back to what I was saying. It wasn't a clear cut chance in the first place, right? Like Raspadori was quite lucky to have that ball at his feet, but still, we could have done a little bit. We could have had a bit more luck there. But the real struggle, guys, was here in the midfield. No, we had Billy Gilmore that was left open because Lobotka was kind of caged by the Venezia players, no, and so a lot of a lot of balls went through Billy Gilmore, and he had to take a lot of responsibility. But I don't think his passing today was at the level that it was in other games, right? There was a lot of times when he didn't find the right pass. And Venezia did a very good job to cage Lobotka in, and the way Napoli a little bit responded to this one was that they would put Buongiorno, you can see him there circled, Buongiorno all the way to the left, Rachmani all the way to the right on the other side. They would, like, we had the two center backs like super wide, and then we would have both Billy Gilmore and Lobotka as kind of like our two center backs when we were trying to build up the play. And the idea was to like do little 1-2s around the the Venezia players, and hopefully find Di Lorenzo in the middle, who would have to move into the middle, right? Because there wouldn't be any midfielders there. And this was read a little too well by Venezia. Like, you can see that Di Lorenzo's run is really well tracked by the Venezia player. So we never got to a position where we could feed the ball to Di Lorenzo in the middle and he had the time and space to pick out a pass. Because Venezia just did their homework. They knew, they pushed Gilmore and Lobotka back, and they knew that then the only option Napoli had was with Di Lorenzo coming into the middle, and they tracked him every single time very well. And I think here is where we could have been a bit more creative with McTominay and Raspadori. I think we could have dropped them a lot deeper and tried to use them a bit more to link up with Gilmore and Lobotka. Instead, we kept them very close to Lukaku, thinking that, oh, for sure, we'll just get the ball up to Lukaku and then he'll just knock it on for Raspadori and McTominay. But what we didn't calculate was that those Venezia defenders, man, they would always foul Lukaku, and so we never got the chance to do that. And we pushed Lobotka and Gilmore so far back in the first half that even finding Lukaku becomes super difficult from this position, because how are you going to give Lukaku such an accurate pass from this distance? It's not easy. You're gonna That ball is gonna reach Lukaku in a very dirty way. Like, it's gonna be bouncing all over the place. It's easy for the defenders to read the flight because they have so much time to intersect it. So it wasn't easy, but Venezia did their homework, right? So, as some of you guys have been saying, congrats to Venezia. Um, by the way, thank you, Lawrence Moore, for the 199 pound donation, saying I was dying for a Diawara versus Chievo moment. Yeah, yeah, man. Same. Same, but I never got that feeling today. Like, when we had that game against Chievo in 2017, 18, whatever it was, like, we were pushing, we were putting pressure on Chievo, like it felt like the goal was gonna come. Here, I never felt like a goal was gonna come, not even in the first half. When we had those chances and Raudu was making those saves, I never felt like, yeah, we're gonna win this game or we're gonna score. I don't know, I just didn't feel it. I don't know. I just wasn't comfortable today watching this game. I had that feeling. In the end, I was right. And yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's like that football. Tony says, Why do you think our team is so mentally weak always? I don't know. It's difficult, right? Because these players, in theory, have already won a Scudetto, so it's not even that they are, scared of winning or scared. Like they've won. It's not even the pressure of winning. So I have no idea. What is true is that they won a Scudetto in a way that was very downhill towards the end. So they never felt the pressure of a title fight. It was just something that arrived after a few months. They slowly chipped away at it, but then you could tell from March onwards, even in those circumstances, that the team was struggling to close it off. And I suggest you guys to watch the movie that was made on the Scudetto season by De Laurentiis. And I told you guys when I watched the movie and I went to the cinema and I watched it, the way that the players were reacting when they drew against what was it, Salernitana and all that, and they still had 6 games to go in the season. Like it was like that game was like if you won, then you would have we would have won the title. But if not, we still had 6 games. We just needed 1 or 2 points. And a quote like really caught me off guard by Osimhen because when they drew that game against Salernitana, he said, um, "Yeah, we were wondering in the dressing room if we would ever if we would ever cross the line, if we would ever make it, and all this like self doubt, that these players had." But logically, it made no sense because they had 6 games to make 1 point. So why all this doubt? Of course you're gonna get through. Like, of course you're gonna get over the line. But these players didn't have that belief in them, which is weird. Like, it's really weird. So I don't know why these Napoli players are like that. And it's something that it's not just this group, but it's something that's like that since forever, since the days of De Laurentiis. I don't know. It's not about these 24 players. It's always been like that. Payman, welcome to the chat. Says anyone speaking about Scudetto is delusional. I didn't expect it with Okafor, Raspa, Politano, Simeone. You don't win a title. 1 win in 7 games. No one wins a league like that. I prefer Inter winning tonight. Payman just wants it done with. He just wants the what do you say, like when you have to rip the band-aid, it's like let's not have a slow death. Let's just if Inter's gonna win the Scudetto, let's just settle it tonight. Let's just settle it tonight so that we don't have to live in live with a little bit of hope, which will then just turn into a bigger disappointment the more this hope lasts. If Inter have to win it, just say it tonight. Just do it tonight. Um, because yeah, it would be terrible if Atalanta win and then we start believing like, oh, maybe things are not so bad, and you go through the roller coaster, only to then maybe like screw up again against, I don't know, Empoli or something like that. So yeah, and this is something that we have to also as fans uh, understand about ourselves. It's how we will be and behave in a title race. Like I'm telling you, like I'm trying my best to kind of not think about it. Like it's difficult for me to make videos about Napoli because every video I feel like the only thing that you guys want to hear about is Scudetto, Scudetto, Scudetto. But I mean, if I make videos about it, I just start telling myself that yeah, we're gonna win, and then if we don't, the fall is gonna be very high. So I just almost prefer to kind of ignore it. I just prefer to ignore it. I go through my week, Monday to Friday, kind of not thinking about it, and then the game comes around and I'm like, maybe, but then after a game like today, um, yeah, after a game like today, I think it's obvious. It's obvious that this team is missing something. It's pretty clear. Um, I believe Napoli are 0-3 playing the early matches this season. I blame the time. That is a crazy stat. But I think if that is true, I just think then that even further proves that this team mentally is not doing well, because probably we lost the first game and then we told ourselves, oh yeah, it's because it was at 12:30, and then we had the second game at 12:30 and we're like, but remember that time we played at 12:30, we lost. And so you start thinking about that and then it happens again, and now for the third time we're like, oh yeah, but remember those last two times. Anyways, that's how Venezia kind of blocked us a little bit. Then Zerbin decided to be Zidane, or we made him look like Zidane. This guy, my God. And we got pretty lucky here. Look, Meret with a good save, Rachmani with a quasi goal line clearance here to deny Venezia a goal. And who knows if actually Venezia scoring could have ignited something with Napoli, Um, I don't know. But I just felt like a spark was missing. And look, maybe it's extreme to think that, oh, we needed to concede a goal to have a spark. Probably the spark should have come from Antonio Conte making a substitution. I think in a game like this, with 9 games to go in the season, everything becomes about mentality. And I think you have to, as a coach, realize that sometimes it's not even about the tactics, it's about mentality. And I think it would have sent a strong signal to make an early substitution in between the first and second half, or even imagine a substitution in the first half after this chance. You go and you take off whoever. Man, that sends a signal to the team to wake up, and I feel like that's missing from Conte. Um, so yeah, and maybe he's trying to send signals to the ownership, to De Laurentiis, that he doesn't have a bench that he can trust and he can, but at the same time, like, you cannot you cannot compromise a scudetto for your to be right in an argument. Sometimes maybe, um, yeah, I don't know. You take a chance. You take a chance just to send a signal, because it was clear that I think this game was going to be tough. And we had this chance here with Lukaku, man, and the goalie made a great save. It almost feels like the ball is in here, but I had to look at it a lot. That's, I think, his shoulder. It's not the ball. The thing that the yellow circle-ish kind of thing that you see there, I think that's the shoulder. That's not the ball, because then they have the replay, and it shows that the ball didn't cross the line, right? But these are the fine margins that we had to deal with. Now, guys, I want to go to the before the press conference, the player ratings, right? So I don't even think we played that badly individually. Um, I think everybody was kind of at a 6, except Politano. I couldn't stand him today, Politano, because I think, man, if you are a winger and you can't score a goal or an assist against a team like Venezia, then when are you gonna make an impact, dude? When? And you can't keep saying, yeah, but he defends. Yeah, fine, fine, against Inter, against, the big teams, that you need to have that. But against Venezia, you need to show that you have something going forward. And honestly, Spinazzola showed way more than Politano going forward. And when that happens, something's wrong. So so yeah, I think Spinazzola and Rachmani were our best players. Rachmani because of that goal line clearance, even though I said that maybe had Venezia scored, it would have maybe given us a bit of a spark to maybe go and, I don't know, get a goal, and then once you get a goal, you can try to get a second. I don't know. But yeah, look, those two were our best players, and when two out of the five at the back are your best players, then you're screwed, right? You're not gonna win. Conte, I gave him a four because man, those substitutions, too late, too little, not enough impact. I would not have put on Simeone, for example. I think he's shown that this season it's not for him. It's not for him. Um, I would have played Billing, you know? Where? I don't know. Put him in attack. I don't care. The guy scored more goals than Simeone. You know what? He scored a poacher's goal against Inter. Put the man up front. I don't care. He's a midfielder. Fine. He still plays striker. Go. Up top. Use your 2 meters. We'll whip in some balls. Like, guys, we need to be a bit more flexible. Like Simeone is broken this season. He's broken. It's like saying I'm gonna go and drive this car, and the car like doesn't have an engine. Like, bro, what are you gonna drive? Just get on your scooter. It's better. I don't know. Like, we don't have many options, right? And this is De Laurentiis' fault. We don't have options on the bench. But I think Conte can also be a bit more creative. I think. I don't know. I don't know. It's always easy to say after, no? Oh yeah, let's play Billing up top, Fucking Einstein moment. No, but I mean, like you gotta try. You gotta try things, but try things that have a higher chance of success. Like, dude, you're not gonna get success with Simeone this season. We saw it last week, man. We saw it against Fiorentina, that miss against Fiorentina. Dude, the guy's finished. The guy's finished. I don't expect him to score goals from here until the end of the season. And if he does, I hold my hands up, but I just don't see it. I just don't see it. So that's the player ratings, guys. Let me go to the conference. Let's see what Conte has to say. And I would like Conte. I haven't heard what Conte had to say, right? But I would like Conte to, for once, come in here and say, I made a mistake. I made a mistake with my subs. I made a mistake with how this team approached the game. It's my fault. I want him to take the blame for this because you cannot lose points against Venezia. I'm sorry. And if Conte comes out and says, "Oh, but we are doing something incredible that no one thought that we could do, and this team is doing great things," and like if he starts moving the picture around, and moving the pieces to talk about everything we've done so well so far, I'm gonna get mad because yes, that's true. We've done a good job so far, but let's think about these 90 minutes. You know, it's like, I don't know, man. Like, it's like whenever you screw up, right? You just go and you say sorry. You don't start listing all the good things you've done the last week. You screwed up, you say sorry. That's it. Stop. And we all know the good things that you've done the past week, but let's see. And look, if I hope he mentions the Scudetto. Like if he says like, "Oh, we're not fighting for the Scudetto," that's also gonna anger me a little bit. So let's see what Conte had to say. So they ask him about the second half and how we dropped off, and he says, "Look, we conducted the game since the start. These are the games where if you score a goal like Inter and Roma, then you struggle, but you manage to get the 3 points. If you don't score, like Lazio and Atalanta didn't do, then it's more difficult because this is a difficult ground. I hate these quotes. It's like, well, if you don't score, you're gonna struggle. Yeah, thanks, Sherlock Holmes, man. Yeah, I never knew that if you don't score, you're gonna struggle. Wow, very enlightening, Mr. Conte. And he says, anyways, we created chances. I'm happy with the way that the team performed. We wanted to win it. And we kept a clean sheet after 8 games. Come on, man. Come on, Conte. You can't. What am I listening, man? What am I reading? Conte being happy with a clean sheet against Venezia, bro. I don't want him to mention anything positive about this game, dude. This is not the game where you do the sandwich technique, like when you like say something good, then you put something bad, and then you put say something good as well. You put a sandwich so that you deliver the feedback in a way that's a little nicer. Like, man, this is not that kind of moment where you find the good things about the game to package it better. No, like, dude, there's nothing good about a 0-0 against Venezia. Don't talk to me about a clean sheet, bro. This is not the game to talk to me about a clean sheet against Zerbin, bro. Like, nah, nah. I cannot believe what I'm reading from Conte. Oh my god. Uh okay, let's continue. He says the negative is not to have scored. Yeah, that's very insightful. Um, what angered me was the counterattack at the end with 6 against 2. That should never happen. From that moment, we disconnected our brains. That I cannot accept. I want my players to give 100% until the end, and I don't want this to happen again. Well, blame Politano for such a horrible corner. Maybe if he had actually whipped in a decent ball, that wouldn't have happened. They ask him about the break, if it can be a good or bad thing. And he says, look, we'll take the break. We will have 11 players with us that can go to training. So we'll work with them. We'll try to organize a friendly to keep these players and in a good condition. And we'll try to recover Nedesh. Today, I like the approach. We entered the field to win. Sometimes you do it, sometimes no. But we also have to make sure we never disconnect our brain. Then they ask him about, the Scudetto and how it's a missed opportunity, and he says, "Look, let's not look at what other people are doing. I always say that a draw is a half loss, but there's different types of draws. Venezia is a team that can put a lot of other teams in trouble with regards to their physicality. So, it can happen. Inter and Roma suffered here, but, ultimately they got a goal. But we need to continue. We need to keep putting the pressure until the end, and we'll always try to put on the best team on the field. And like I said, there's no guarantee on who's going to be playing from now until the end of the season. And yeah, that's Conte. Um, yeah, that's Conte. Spinazzola says that playing at 12:30 should not be an excuse. So yeah. Um, and yeah, guys, that's Conte. He's saying that he liked the way the team played. I mean, I don't know. I guess he will say what he truly thinks behind closed doors because I cannot imagine that's what he's actually thinking. I don't think that's what he's thinking, and like I think he must be as mad as us. He must be. Anyways, guys, I wanna just end the video with asking you guys if you were able to watch the video that I released the other day. with the Napoli inspired F1 car, guys. It's sick, no? Like, let me know in the chat if you liked it, but I don't know. I find it super cool. So I know it has nothing to do with football, but I don't know. It's like how do you not see that and think like, yeah, that's sick. At least for me, even if I was not a car guy, I would think, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Um, so yeah, let me know if you guys liked it or not. And then there is also the match predictor game, which I always forget to update and all that. But um, in summary, the last few months, Brian has been dominating, to say the least. This game, he's well out in front this season, 68 points. So he's probably gonna win, which means that at the end of the season he gets, I don't know, like a jersey or something like that. But this month, uh, it's kind of tight between Vinny and Brian. So if Vinny's watching, then you can still try to win this month. And I will maybe take next weekend to make a video with Brian to cover the last few months that he's won. Invite him onto the channel, see what he has to say about Napoli. You guys know him; he's appeared on the channel before. He's the guy from Texas. But yeah, um, so that's the Napoli Talk Predictor game. It's actually pretty crazy how many times Brian this and last year has gotten things right. Like because I see his predictions before the game. Like I'm almost tempted every time to be like, I should put some money on this because the guy just guesses the right score like consistently. It's kind of scary actually. And if he's not putting money on this, he's leaving a lot of money on the table. Not that I want you to bet, don't want you to like lose your house over this, bro, but it is kind of crazy the talent that this guy has. Anyways, maybe let's end it with a Batman quote. As Bale said to Batman in The Dark Knight Rises, there is no despair without hope. What a movie, man. What a movie. The Dark Knight Rises. It's my favorite movie. Uh, Nevertheless, I think the Scudetto is still on. Um, let's see, dude. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. If Inter don't drop points, I just can't see it. But hmm. If Atalanta win, then it's crazy. Oh wow, I'm just looking out my balcony and holy, there is a seagull that just entered another guy's apartment. Oh my God, dude, it's literally flying around the guy's apartment. What the? Oh, he's gonna. Yeah, okay. Anyways, I can't turn the camera and show you guys. But I just literally witnessed a seagull just flying to some guy's apartment and it's literally flying around their living room. Um, okay. Well, with that, I'm gonna end it there and I'm gonna make sure I keep my windows closed. But yeah, guys, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the live. Hope you guys got to vent a little bit and got yourself a little bit of therapy. So yeah, let's see. And for those of you watching Inter and Atalanta later tonight, then have a good one. And let's hope that Atalanta win if you are still hopeful for the Scudetto, or if you're like Payman, that you just want the pain to go away and never think about the Scudetto again, then I guess you will support Inter. But I'll leave that to you guys. With that, guys, I'll see you, and as always, Forza Napoli sempre. Ciao.